When you came back to Taiwan, you kind of stumbled upon what has become your passion project, your career now, would you say?
I have a Instagram page called Taiwan Food Addict.
Great name.
Yeah, when I created that name, I didn't even know what would come out of it. I actually went to Instagram and I named 20-some Instagram handles that nobody used, and I started crossing out the ones that sound terrible, and it ends up Taiwan Food Addict. That's the one. It sounds right.
It was so selfless in the way that, you didn't make it about your name or anything like that. You're like, no, actually, this is for Taiwan. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the NG 英文 Show. My name is John Drummond, or Yang Haoen.
Hi, 大家好，欢迎回到 NG 英文，我是 Stephanie。今天的来宾 Brian 是一位影片制作、部落客以及英文的美食评论家。接下来就让我们来欢迎 Brian。
I am joined today by the multi-talented Mr. Brian Wong. Brian is a video producer, he is a blogger, he is an incredible English food critic and influencer here in Taiwan. So everyone, please welcome Brian.
Wow, thank you. That intro is, it's amazing. Thank you.
Boom.
But thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here and to meet you in person finally.
Likewise, Brian. We got to meet through our wonderful co-host Steph, and just getting to hear about your level of passion for what you do and the professional level you put the care into what you do. I just love, and I can't wait to share more about your story and your plans for 2023.
Yes.
Awesome.
Excited to share.
Yeah, man. So do you think you could give a high level? Who is the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Brian?
Okay, my name is Brian. I am Taiwanese first and foremost, and I moved to Canada when I was 6 years old. So I lived in Vancouver for 23 years of my life there, and I moved back to Taiwan in 2013, around that time.
When you came back to Taiwan, you kind of stumbled upon what has become your passion project, your career now, would you say?
Yeah, right now.
Can you share a little bit of what is that?
Right now, I'm doing. I have a Instagram page called Taiwan Food Addict, and I'm currently doing a lot of food projects on that and trying to help restaurants promote their food through my platform right now.
Yeah, so Taiwan Food Addict, great name.
Yeah, when I create that name, I didn't even know what would come out of it, but I actually went to Instagram and I named 20-some Instagram handles that nobody uses at that time, and I start crossing out the ones that sound terrible, and it ends up Taiwan Food Addict. That's the one. It sounds right.
I love it, yeah, and it was so selfless in the way that, you didn't make it about your name or anything like that. You're like, no, actually, this is for Taiwan.
Yeah, I want to be, like, mysterious. I don't want to reveal my identity or my name or things like that. But I don't mind that now. But when I created, I was trying to be anonymous, and I was trying to be behind the scene. I didn't give my name or my identity or my sex, who I am, that kind of stuff. But I know eventually I'm gonna get known somehow one day.
Yeah, and then I can bring you onto the show. Boom.
Yeah.
Awesome, Brian. Well, could you take us through a little bit of what is it like to be a food influencer? What do you care about? What's so important to you? And what's a way you can share the culture of Taiwan to international people and even to Taiwanese?
I think first and foremost, I put myself like in a Curious George hat. You have to.
Curious George. I love that. Great reference. Yeah. Steph, let's reference that.
Curious George is one of the, you have to be curious about something, to be passionate about something. So I as an influencer, you go into these restaurants. I'm not here to eat, really. I want to get to know the chef or the owner, because sometimes the owner and the head chef are the same people, are the same person actually. And I want to invite them out and say, I want to interview you. What's your story? What's your background about this dish that you made, or why are you connected to this restaurant? What made you passionate about this? Things like that. So that to me right now is the most important thing that I care about as an influencer, compared to others.
Yeah, that's beautiful. The story of the chef or the owner of the restaurant and why they do what they do.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really, it's cool. It's connecting back to your earlier profession of working in journalism. And,
Oh yeah.
you know, I feel like because you were an incredible camera operator
Right.
in Canada, you got to go out in the field with reporters and see that story.
2,000 of them.
2,000.
In a 7-year span.
Oh my gosh.
That's a lot of.
Yeah, and I just connected right now. Like, wow, you saw the story making process so well, and now you embody that.
And on top of being a cameraman in Vancouver, I had to edit the news piece with the journalists inside his editing suite, and I did, I don't know, maybe almost 1,000 of them of that too. So you know about the importance of storytelling through.
So well said. I think something that I want to focus on more in 2023 is storytelling, and
Right.
I think it's so important. And for you to have an incredible Instagram that talks about food, it's how can you actually tell the story of food and the people who create the food, and someone who might consume that is like, yeah, I want to go now to that restaurant.
Yeah, because a lot of it's missing now in Instagram, where everybody's just taking pictures of the videos, but oftentimes the owner or the head chefs are left out. They feel like I want to come in and promote you. It's about you. It's never about me. And I feel like that's like something that's really missing now in today's social media world.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, so to kind of summarize that there for you all, you're saying to focus on the story of the chef, because a lot of times now influencers, no disrespect to them, but they focus on just the food and making it look good and all that, which is still a nod and appreciation of them, of the chef, but actually you want to highlight the chef's story or the owner's story.
Right. That's the thing that I wanted to build more on this year.
Brian 是我的朋友，他也是一位台湾人，但他在6岁的时候就搬到了加拿大温哥华，后来也住了快23年。那后来其实他在2013年才搬回台湾的。那现在 Brian 在经营一个 IG 美食账号，叫做 Taiwan Food Addict。那他主要是帮餐厅推广他们的食物。那其实一开始创这个账号的时候是想要匿名的，所以他完全没有透露自己的名字、性别跟长相。那当然他知道在某个时刻总是会被认出来的，像现在他就觉得没关系。那刚 Brian 提到的 Curious George 就是一个知名儿童书中的主角，他的名字之所以叫 Curious George 就是因为他非常的好奇。那刚 Brian 用 Curious George 来比喻自己，也试着一直保有好奇心去探索。那虽然他是以美食为主，但他并不是单纯为了吃而已，他想要认识他们的工作人员、主厨或是老板，他会想要理解他们的故事、背景或是为什么会开这间餐厅，这其实才是他在乎的东西。这跟他早期在新闻业 journalism 蛮有关系的，因为他以前是一位跟着记者 reporters 的摄影师 cameraman， 并且当了7年，也做过超过2000多个采访。那他除了当摄影师之外，他还得跟他们一起剪辑影片，那因此他知道说故事的重要性。我们就继续听接下来的专访吧。
Yeah, and you were telling me a little bit off air. What are you focusing on next for 2023?
I think this year, everyone knows that Instagram now is about reels.
Yes.
And reels means video. So I have so many ideas I want to launch this year about, in particular about video. And I would like to launch something like what I think I would call it chef's profile. That's one of the many things I might be doing this year. I will be doing this year. And I want to go into the restaurant, film the head chef. What does he do behind the scenes, like prepping or, come up with new menu ideas. I want to shoot a lot of those things. I want to put those on my page to show my audience, like, wow, what goes on behind the scenes inside the restaurant, and what goes on when they decide to create this dish. I want to do something like that.
I love it, and it's making me excited. I want to watch.
Right.
I hope you can create a cool series about this.
I was asking myself a couple months ago, I'm my first audience. I create my own video. I'm my own first audience. If something that I love and passionately love and that video really rocks, then I want to share. If something isn't like up to par or something like that, and I'm not going to post it. It's not good enough. I want to produce the best stuff.
That's a great tip, Brian. I think for all of us content creators out there, if you don't actually want to watch what you're creating, then you might not, maybe other people don't want to watch. So yeah, it's a good benchmark. It's like, hey, I really want to watch this, therefore I want to make it better every time.
Right.
Yeah, well said. And so what's really cool about what you're doing, Brian, and as a foreigner here in Taiwan, so thank you for sharing your content in English. You're putting a lot of your content in English to help share the information to the world about Taiwan. And so your talent is you can talk to the chefs or the owners of the restaurants in Chinese if you need to, but then you can share their story in English for everyone abroad. Is that right?
Yeah, that's... Well, when I created this account back in 2018, I didn't expect where I'm today, but then I start taking it seriously in 2019, 20-ish. Then I went to restaurants or 小吃店, small mom and pop shops. Then I take on my phone, I put into interview mode and my recording mode, and I record them. I ask them a whole bunch of questions. Then I'm like, holy, the answers that they're providing are not anywhere. You cannot find them anywhere on Google about this particular 小吃店, what their stories are in English. Then something came to my head. I'm like, whoa, I can fill that void. I can fill that space. And I realized then as more followers, because my first initial batch of followers they don't live in Taiwan, are a whole bunch of visitors around the world. Then I'm like, oh, I have a responsibility. I need to produce more English stories about these particular places that I go to.
I love it. Yeah, and you become an ambassador really for Taiwan now, and it's so cool. And you have a very special person that follows you on your Instagram page. Is that right?
Yeah, or two in particular. One is I still can't believe it. It's Gordon Ramsay himself.
Oh wow, Gordon Ramsay.
And Christina Wilson, who is Hell's Kitchen's season 10 winner.
That's right.
She's in charge of all Gordon Ramsay's U.S. properties restaurant entire group.
Wow.
Gordon Ramsay group.
Congratulations.
And she followed my account a week apart. So I knew something about my account is special because there's a huge foodie in the world that follow my account.
Yeah.
So you cannot just do whatever you want. You have to represent Taiwan well.
Yeah, you're doing it from the storytelling aspect, which I just love, and I'm sure Gordon and Christina Wilson appreciate that.
Yeah, I hope so.
I imagine, and I love to just think that maybe Gordon was like, hey, this account in Taiwan, you got to check it out, and told her a week later.
Yeah, maybe.
I
don't know what happened, but they both did follow, and they still follow me today. I just checked it. I had to check.
I love it. Awesome, Brian. Well, I wish you continued success. Thank you for doing what you're doing and sharing your love of food, your love of Taiwanese food and international food here in Taiwan to the world. So
thank you
for that.
Thank you.
来宾对于2023年的展望就是希望可以多放一些 Reels 的影片，因为他知道现在的趋势就是以短影片为主。像他今年想要做一个系列，就是 Chef's Profile， 也就是主厨的档案。那刚 Brian 有提到，因为他通常会是第一位观众，所以当他在看他的影片时，他希望会达到他的期望或是标准 up to par。所以给所有内容创作者的建议就是，如果连你自己都不会想要看的话，那别人也一定不会想要看哦。那刚 John 有提到 Brian 的内容其实都是英文的，所以他的优势就是在于如果需要用中文沟通时，他也是可以的，然后再将这些东西翻译成英文给外国人看。其实他在2018年的时候创这个账号时并没有认真的经营，他是到2019、2020左右他才从小吃店餐厅开始。那他当时其实只用手机录影，然后就访问起老板。他后来发现其实这样的内容在 Google 上面是找不到的，尤其是英文版本，所以他觉得他可以去填补这个空白 void。那他的第一批粉丝也都不是台湾人，大多都是外国来的旅客。那像他当时觉得自己有一个责任 responsibility 产出更多这样的内容，其实他有点像是台湾的美食大使 ambassador。而且他的追踪者当中有2位很特别的人物，那就是知名的地狱厨房的 Gordon Ramsay 跟地狱厨房第10季的冠军 Christina Wilson。那 Christina Wilson 现在负责地狱厨房集团底下的所有营运。我们继续来听接下来的专访吧。
So do you think we could shift gears a little bit too to the story of your English, your language learning, and how we can really tie that back to your food blog now, but when did your English journey begin?
When I was 6 years old, I immigrated to Canada in Vancouver. I was a second grader, and I was in a room with white kids. Like everyone were white, and I
Just like now.
and I was like, I didn't even know ABCs. I don't know anything. The only language I knew back then when I was 6 years old was Taiwanese. Not even not even 中文, not even Mandarin.
Wow.
So I was speaking,
Taiyu.
I was speaking Thai with my teacher, my English white teacher, Miss. I don't remember her name. My teacher was Miss Pasquale. Miss Pasquale, and then she looked at my face and said, "What are you talking about?" I was responding everything in Taiwanese, and you start picking up ABCs from left and right. All these classmates were talking, and you naturally pick up because you go to Canada as a new immigrant. You're like a sponge, and you're gonna listen everything that comes out from everyone's mouth, through their mouth, through radio, through television, cartoons. I imitate all of them. That's where my English picked up.
Right, so you actually imitated them. Would you kind of try to parrot that, we might call it? You parroted the English you were hearing, right?
Right. It's like if you see a movie, it's like, come on now, would you come out, sing, copycatting. You're copycatting a whole bunch of movies.
Super useful. Very,
Right.
very useful.
Right.
I love that. Can you do it again? Very cool.
Yeah.
And so thinking then, Brian, too, did your passion of food, did that develop when you were in Canada?
Yes.
Or would
and
you
no.
say you're
Because
passionate about food?
I've always because I went to Canada when I was 6 years old. I lived in Vancouver 23 years. I have not been back to Taiwan. Like I came back only twice in a 23-year span.
Oh, what? Really?
So I didn't know anything about Taiwan food. So when I first moved back in 2013, I was like, I don't feel like I was a Taiwanese.
You were a foreigner.
I feel like an expat. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
even know what kind of food offers in night markets. So I went to all the night markets in Taipei and New Taipei City as like a complete foreigner. I'm like, what is that? I'm buy it. I don't know what it tastes like. I don't know. Buy it, eat it. I went to all of them when I first moved back before I created my Instagram account. So that's my connection with food.
Wow, it's very interesting. And now that's making me think, when you came back, did you have to retrain your Mandarin?
No, I learned Mandarin a while in Canada.
Okay, so you were doing both,
like
like
Saturday
Chinese
morning
school.
schools.
Yeah,
I hate those mornings.
Oh yeah, all my Taiwanese friends say the same. It was always like Friday night or Saturday morning.
Saturday mornings, 8:30 class start. I'm like, oh, why do I have to wake up at 7:30 in the morning on a weekend? I'm like, can I play video games instead?
Oh man. Okay, so that was very helpful though, looking back now, because when you came back to Taiwan, you didn't have to reacclimate yourself. To
Well, I
the language.
do in a sense, because there's a lot of phrases that Taiwanese
Right,
like to say.
more slang
Like,
kind of style,
yeah,
right?
lots of slang that I have to pick up when I moved back. But then Mandarin I had to learn when I was a kid back in Canada. But I did not enjoy that process because I loved all my friends were basically English speakers back in Canada.
Right.
Yeah.
So were you speaking Mandarin though at home with your family?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't enjoy it though.
So you really you connected more with English back in the day.
Yeah.
And now, how do you feel now?
Now I feel like I'm Taiwanese now, but I don't think about that because I was a kid back then, or in my teenage years. But now I feel like I'm a Taiwanese, but I'm also Canadian. So it's a good thing for combine the cultures together. You're proud to be Canadian. You're proud to be Taiwanese at the same time.
Yeah, and I love it. And now you can use English, Mandarin, and Taiwanese to share the stories of all the owners here.
Right, because a lot of times, a lot of 小吃店 owners, they might not able to speak English, and most of the time. And if I'm able to talk to them in Chinese or Mandarin, I record them, and I can get the stories out of them, and just need to translate whatever they say into English. I feel like I can do a lot of that using my platform.
Yeah, it's so cool. And I'm going to put you on the spot right now. Could you share maybe some of your favorite restaurants over the years?
I think a lot of things that restaurants.
Or 小吃店.
Xiao ci dian, one of the things I really like is jian, which is oyster omelet.
That's kind of like Tainan. Like, is that local to Tainan, like style?
I don't know where it's originated from, but I went to all the oyster omelet places you can think of all the night markets in Taipei and New Taipei City. I tried all of them, and one particular place I really enjoy is Jingmei Yeshi. There's like that oyster omelet food stand that's over there, and line up after line up, and I just enjoy it. It's massive and one of the cheapest in Taipei. I don't know how much they cost now because I've not been there for a year and a half, 2 years now, since before COVID.
Right.
So 2 years, and I don't know how much they charge now, but they have the best oyster omelets.
Okay, you heard it here. You heard it here from the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Brian.
And I live next to Ningxia Yeshi, which is famous for oyster omelets, because one of them has Michelin ties to it. And I love there too, but I like Jinmei's better. It's bigger. It's just, price-wise cheaper than anywhere else.
Yeah, it's very cool. So thinking actually about that, you're not as focused on brick and mortar shops. You're kind of more focused on the mom and pop shop.
I would like to do that more now. I did that when I first started, and I kind of got away from it because of COVID came, and you had to do more restaurants now. And now that we're back to, hopefully to normal times, we need some normalcy back before pre-COVID times. But I would like to feature everything. I don't want like tie myself to mom and pop shops. I want to get myself into everything, and maybe even fine dining restaurants too. I want to get into that space.
Nice. Yeah, the world is your oyster.
Yeah.
That's a little pun for everyone there.
Yes.
Oyster omelet. Sorry, that was a terrible joke, but I love puns.
Brian 6岁的时候移民到了加拿大，那他当时学校的同学都是白人，而且他连英文字母都不会。那当时唯一会的语言就只有台语，对，你没听错，他是连中文都不会哦。那甚至跟老师对话的时候也是用台语回。那后来他学会英文的方式其实就是单纯靠周边的环境去慢慢学习。那因为他也会模仿电视、卡通等等的。刚刚 John 有提到的 parody 其实也是一种模仿的形容词。那因为 parrot 本来就是鹦鹉，那鹦鹉其实就是擅长模仿，所以会用这样的方式去形容。他住在加拿大那段期间，其实只回来台湾2次，所以对他而言，台湾其实蛮陌生的。那他刚回来住的时候，他也觉得自己完全不像台湾人，反而比较像是外派的 expat。比如说夜市会卖什么，其实他也都不清楚。那因为他在加拿大的时候有上过中文学校，所以他也没有什么语言隔阂。但他清楚的记得，当时为了上早上8点半的课，他得7点半就起床，而且这是周6哦。但他觉得这的确对他现在在做的事情非常有帮助，因为像很多小吃店的老板可能只会说中文或是台语，那这时候他至少能够先访问他们，然后再翻译成英文。John 刚刚有提到他要把 Brian put on the pedestal， 这个意思就是要让某人处于为难的处境。这是因为 John 接着就问 Brian 说，他觉得目前为止最好吃的小吃店或是餐厅是什么。那 Brian 刚刚有提到他很喜欢吃蚵仔煎，而且都吃过台北跟新北市夜市的蚵仔煎。那他认为最好吃的其实是在景美夜市，因为其实平常那边也会有蛮多人排队的。那除了好吃之外，其实也非常大盘，而且又便宜。那刚刚 John 有提到 The world is your oyster 是一个非常有名的说法，也来自莎士比亚的剧作，意思就是你可以随心所欲的获得成功哦。那我们继续来听接下来的专访吧。
A question though I love to end with is if you could go back and talk to a younger Brian, would there be any advice you give yourself about food, language, Instagram, anything?
I think if I could give myself a huge advice is, don't corner yourself into a little office and just, open.
Are you attacking me?
No. I'm just saying that you need to open up your everything, you learn everything, learn more about marketing, learn more about editing tricks or video shooting techniques and things like that. You don't waste time on non-important stuff. Invest yourself into all these kind of technologies and prepare for something great in the future. For example, like in 2019 of June, I accidentally watched a YouTube video that teaches you about how to increase Instagram By the way, YouTube is your best friend. They have all the secrets you can think. You want to learn anything in the world, go to YouTube. They have everything.
Facts.
And something that caught my eye was that Instagram account. Oh, sorry, YouTube account. Her name is Vanessa Law on YouTube, and I watched it. I spent a month of time watching all her Instagram secrets for a month, like 25 clips about Instagram secrets. And I applied them onto my page, and since then my page has grew because of her, I believe.
I love that, man. Expanding your knowledge, not just your storytelling techniques, right? You learn how to use the platforms better, and I think so cool. So shout out to learning anything on YouTube. Maybe you're watching us on YouTube learning right now.
Right. Yeah.
Brian 会给年轻自己的建议就是不要局限自己，而且要多学习、多投资。而且 YouTube 真的是一个非常好用的工具，因为任何你想要学的东西都可以在上面找到。那 Brian 当时就是看到一个关于教你如何让 IG 成长的影片，那后来就花了1个月的时间把所有的影片都看完了，所以他认为他目前拥有的这一切都要归功于这个影片。那我们就谢谢今天的来宾 Brian。Well,
it's a pleasure, my man. Where can people find more about you? Where can they find your Instagram channel? And where can they follow along?
If you go to my Instagram page, you just type in tw.food.addict. That's my Instagram handle. And I'm turning into YouTube space now. And if you go type in Taiwan Food Addict on YouTube, you're going to find my channel right there.
Oh, nice. You started a YouTube channel too.
Yeah, so I'm
very cool.
Too.
Oh, awesome. Will that be in English?
Yes, it's all in English.
Oh, check you out. Okay.
Right. Thank you for having me.
You're a cool dude. I'm really happy you're
cooler dude.
We're cool together. You're sharing the stories in the spirit of someone we both admire and love, Anthony Bourdain, telling the story of the food.
Yeah, so unfortunately he's not with us. I still shed my tears sometimes about him because he left a legacy behind. And I wish like something like us, content creators, would able to take that legacy and prolong it as long as possible. Because Anthony Bourdain isn't just about traveling around the world. He is like a story digger. He digs to the core of every person that he can get in touch with, and he make them beautiful through his documentaries, and that is one of the things that I love about him.
Yeah, you're carrying on the legacy.
I wish I can. It's hard, but to be in that same level, it's hard because he's a chef himself.
Right,
but,
that's true.
But
hey, 2024, you could be a chef.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll stay 2023. We'll focus on building out the brand even more.
Right.
2024,
right.
Maybe. Well, you never know what happens.
Thank
All
you.
right, Brian. Well, it's a pleasure, my man. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on the NG Ingwen Show. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe wherever you can find myself or the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Brian. And we'll talk to you next time. All right. Peace. All right. Well, that is our NG Ingwen Show for today. We hope everyone enjoyed listening to that. You can connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and now Spotify. You can search NG Ingwen, or you can search on IG NG English ICRT. And don't forget to tune in every Wednesday morning from 6:30 to 7 and Wednesday night from 9 to 9:30. We'll catch you on the next episode. Bye-bye.